Good morning and welcome back out to my garden and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a good holiday season and is ready to get back to normal life again today. We're just going to take a little walk around the garden. Not technically a garden tour, but I guess kind of like a garden tour. It is the first day that the kids are back in school after winter break, and I'm having a lazy morning. And yeah, it's been a nice break. It's going to be nice to get back to reality now. Lots of things have grown in the last week or so, or changed. So we're going to take a look around and see what's going on. Over here, pepper plants, these are the poblanos, are mostly harvested. I sent out my two middle boys, they're 8 and 10. And they harvested the poblanos and the jalapenos. So what's left on here was what was too small to pick. But they did a pretty good job getting just about everything. But the plants are still looking great, even in the beginning of January. So we love that. We even have a little random basil down there. Basil is the first thing in my garden that will freeze if we get really cold temperatures. So that basil there is kind of like my thermometer telling me what's wrong. And nothing's frozen yet. So this is the cayenne pepper plant. I've been harvesting off of this as they turn red. And I have 2 strings up now in my kitchen to dehydrate them. And they have a little fan on them so that they dry faster. I think we'll go inside and take a look at that in a little bit, because I also have some seedlings started that we can look at. But yeah, the pepper bed's looking good. And of course, I already panned over this way, but this corner is still crazy. I moved the lime tree that had been here because I was kind of neglecting to water it. And even though we got a few days of good rain, it was not very happy. This week, I want to come out and cut these down. With asparagus, you're supposed to wait until they die back completely and then cut them down. But in the climate that I have, they just never die back completely. So I'm going to cut them down, and then they'll start growing back again in a few weeks. Our tomato plant over here that I didn't think was going to do anything has some good sized tomatoes coming along, and still tons of blossoms. So we are hopeful, or mostly Oliver. Oliver is hopeful for some tomatoes. Then there's one cilantro plant under here that kind of went crazy. I harvested my cilantro on the other side of the garden yesterday, but I didn't come out here, so this guy's just getting huge. I'm going to pick a weed. As we walk through here, if I see anything I need to do, I'm just going to do it. I don't see any other tomatoes in there. I thought this one might have had one on it, but maybe I was wrong. Just doesn't get very much sun down here because of the asparagus. Oh, these lantanas are so pretty. My dad was over the other day and he just noticed that this lantana was here. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of a beast, but it's a beautiful beast. The potatoes in this one are looking good. They reached all the way to the top here, and there's bird poop, so that's gross, but those ones are still growing and doing their thing. We'll probably harvest those ones in a month or so. We've been out here picking oranges. My sister wanted some for Christmas time to dehydrate, so I came out and grabbed a bunch for her. But we'll come out and grab a few every couple days when we want oranges. Let's see, which one was this? Brussels sprout. I don't think I'm going to get any Brussels sprouts, and I don't really plan on ever planting them again. They just take up a lot of space. They could be used for broccoli, and I like broccoli better. And broccoli actually produces this big pepper that's supposed to turn yellow. Looks like it might start to be turned yellow. But we're just waiting on that guy. And it's putting on some new ones too. So we're happy about that. That's a yellow Wonder Bell. And then we had shishitos with dinner yesterday, so this doesn't have very many peppers on it. couple down there at the very bottom. And then the blot, you can see the fruit better from the other side, so I'll lift it up on that side. And there's a big old weed over there in between the beds. I haven't been out here much the last couple weeks, but that's okay. The garden mostly takes care of itself, especially when it rains every 4 or 5 days. I haven't even had to water in like 2 weeks. This is our green stalk that has carrots in it, but this isn't a carrot, it's a weed. There's carrots in the top row and peas. They're looking good. I've come out here and I've thinned some of the kohlrabi. These are going to get huge. I need to thin them again, but not today. Then at the bottom, the lettuces are starting to look nice. And then I put some of the bamboo poles in with the peas so they have something to grab onto, but they're not grabbing onto them. Whatever, they're going to do what they want to do. It's time to turn it for the sun, so we'll give it its half turn for the sun for the day. The kohlrabi in this bed are looking good. I didn't thin them when I planted them, so I'm going to have to come through and thin them later. And this is spinach, and it's also looking good. Probably need to come out and water the containers today, if nothing else, because we got some good rain and the ground is still moist, but the containers are not quite as good at holding on to moisture. This bed doesn't look like anything. It has tulips. It's got, what, 70 did we plant? 70 tulips. We planted those together a couple videos back, so you can head over and check that out. I've been wanting to take this off, but I haven't come over to this side of the garden, so we're going to pull that off. I'll have to go over to the back side and get the other clips off. But this one clip was in my way, so that one and this one, I'm holding on to it. And this one. So now I can go back on the outside and pull that out later. But our snapdragons down here are all blooming nicely and looking so pretty. These onions are looking great. Again, there's some weeds in here. And I had forgotten about it, but I actually had sprinkled a few carrot seeds in between the onions. So you can see a bunch of them came up here. But over here are a couple more weeds. I'm really liking this width for the garden bed. Most of my beds are 4 feet across, and you can't reach from one side to the other. This one is 3 feet across, so I can actually reach across the entire bed when I need to. Now these are going to fall down and cover stuff, but I'll pull it off at the back. There's still a bunch of clips along the back, so I have to go back there and do it. But these 2 broccolis up here are looking good. Oh, we didn't look at the broccolis in the other bed. We'll have to go back over there and do that. These onions are starting to look nice. No bulbs yet, but they're all big and green. So they're doing their thing. They don't take much extra attention except when the weeds start to come up. There's a volunteer tomato back there. That's funny. Speaking of volunteer tomatoes, these ones are getting huge. And I love it. There's 3 plants there. 3 little tomatoes that volunteered. I had San Marzano there in the spring, so that's probably what they are. A lot of my San Marzanos got blossom end rot, so I would pick them and drop them on the ground, and that's how you get volunteers. And you'll notice throughout the garden there are leaves on the ground because when I pick them, I drop them on the ground. That's why. I don't have a compost pile right now, so putting stuff to mulch in place or even in the walkway. Okay, come back over to this bed. This is where the Brussels sprout was. This is a Romanesco cauliflower that is trying to start to maybe head eventually, but not yet. And that's another one. Those plants get so big, so I'm really hoping for a good turnout from those because, again, it's space that I could have used for broccoli. But these broccoli plants are all healthy and happy. And sorry about that. That little one back there that had gotten eaten, so I planted this one to replace it, but that little one is still doing good, so I didn't really need to. And this is our volunteer tomato that I don't know what variety it is. I thought it might be yellow pear, because that's the only thing I had growing in this bed. But the blossoms on it don't really look like pear tomato clumps of blossoms, so it probably just came from compost and it's going to be something a little bit bigger. But we'll just keep letting it grow and we'll find out when it fruits. But I need to take off this mesh too. Getting little bugs caught in it, and that makes me sad because I like little bugs. Hold on, I need 2 hands for this. It's so funny, we get palm trees growing as weeds. Okay, now we can better see this tomato plant. It's got some clusters on it that look, I don't know, I'll have to wait till they actually turn into tomatoes. I'm not going to say anything and then be completely wrong later. There's another broccoli back here, a couple on that side. Everyone's looking happy. Sorry about my neighbor's dog. They like to ignore him and he's annoying sometimes. It's a really cute dog though. It's a husky, so that's why he sounds like that. Anyway, there's my blot. This one might be ready to go, but I'm going to leave it out there. I don't have any use for a bell pepper today, so let it keep growing. Pulled out that big weed. Leave it on the path. It'll break down. There's my ginger. I'm not going to water this one anymore. I want to let it dry out, and then we can harvest it together. And this is the Hungarian heart tomato. Wasn't doing very well for a long time, and now it's putting on blossoms, but I still don't see any fruit. I like to wrap it around the rope anytime I notice that it's big enough to. That's an indeterminate one, so if I let it, and if the weather lets it, it will grow all the way up. So that'll be cool to see. Pick a red jalapeno. I need to make some salsa today because I harvested all my cilantro, so red jalapeno will make a good addition. And these jalapenos in salsa have been kind of crazy spicy, so they don't even need more than one. Back here, all these weeds are going crazy. I'll cut those off before they go to seed. There's another one over here that's getting a flower on it. Good time to come out. Back here behind the bed. I'm not super concerned about getting all the roots. I just don't want it to go to seed. And there's more on the other side. I'm going to have to climb back over there or send my boys out later. I was hoping there would be one more poblano to pick for my salsa, but it doesn't look like there's any that are ready. Maybe I could take that little one. That's kind of holding up the whole branch. Yeah, that'll be good in salsa. Green chilies are on this side. I came out here and picked a bunch of them, and even a few of the Big Jim and the Notapino, and I dehydrated them and made them into a powder. And then I made another powder with a bunch of the red ones. And look, that Big Jim's ready to go. He could go in salsa too. I made another powder with some of the red Big Jims and with some of the orange Pippin's Golden Honey. I'll grab a couple of these for salsa. And so I made the 2 different color pepper powders, dehydrated them, and then made them into powders. And Mixed some of each of those with garlic powder and onion powder and made a really, really good seasoning blend. And my husband really loved that he could taste the green chili in it. So green chili powder was a hit, and I probably will make a bunch more of that if those plants put on more. But yeah, these are the Pippin's Golden Honey. Oliver came out here the other day. He's my 8-year-old. Came out the other day and picked a bunch of the ripe ones, so there's not much going on there. But it does have these newer ones that it has put on. So we love that. Over on this side, there's the elephant garlic in this one. And there was one that was looking rotten, and I pulled it out because it was gross, but the other ones are all looking good. This is the one that was grown from the big mono bulb, so that one will be fun to see what happens. Those are all just the regular elephant garlic bulbs. This one had multiple on it because there's 3 growing there. And then these are the regular garlic, and they look just as good as the elephant garlic at this point, so that's exciting. These are a soft-necked variety. It's like Italian, early Italian or purple something. It's Italian and it has purple on it. I don't remember the exact variety name, but they're all looking good. I have the garlics in containers because they take several months to mature, and we're going to be moving in the next several months, so I want to be able to take them with me. I didn't want to have to pull immature garlic. Here's a potato plant. We are going to do a potato harvest soon because these plants are starting to die back, getting eaten by bugs, which I don't mind at all. I don't care if the bugs eat the plants at this point because I'm going to harvest them soon. But I'll come in here and see if we can find, oh, right there on top. That is a big potato. Keep that covered up. It's starting to turn green from getting sunlight on it, so that's exciting. It'll be fun to come out here and harvest those. And then when we harvest those ones, we'll also harvest these ones, which will be nice because I was out here yesterday trying to pick some peas and squeezing through and just trying to fit into this little space while picking peas above my head. It was really annoying. So I'm going to get that cleared out. We'll harvest it, and then I'll put the soil into a grow bag or something so that I can actually walk back there. But these volunteers are starting to get buds on them so they can make flowers. That's exciting. These are either Dahlia, Ranunculus, or Calendula. I don't remember. I think I've been saying that they were Ranunculus, but I'll have to look it up. But yeah, they're getting flower heads on them, so that's exciting. Sorry, we're kind of jumping around everywhere and not really being organized this walk through, but that's okay. The green beans are starting to get blooms. They're pretty purple flowers, and they've reached all the way to the top and started like intertangling with each other. This is what I love. I love it when the arch is completely covered in green, and then on the other side the peas completely cover that side. This is where I harvested my cilantro yesterday, and I also cut down the peas that were on this side that were really short. So I need to go inside and get some taller pea varieties soaking so I can plant them. But I've been picking off of these for a couple weeks now. These little purple flowers are so pretty. The ones with the purple flowers are a flat pea, like a snow pea. See, there's one right here. And then the ones with the white flowers, I don't know if there's any white flowers on right now. Oh, there's one. And then the ones with the white flowers are a snap pea. And there's a couple you can see right there. There's a few that are ready for harvest, but I'm not going to climb through there right now. I was out here. Ooh, there's actually a few that are actually really ready. I'm going to get those. I was out here picking my peas on, what day was that? Saturday? A couple days ago. And then I went back inside and I was sitting on my couch and I saw movement out of the corner of my eye. So I look over and there was a little green caterpillar on my shoulder. It's about that big, probably an inch or so long. Little cabbage looper crawled off of one of these plants or fell off of the peas onto my back or something, climbed up onto my shoulder. It's pretty crazy. I was like, hey, I didn't invite you. Go back outside. Oh, there's a little baby one on here. I'll come through and check these every once in a while. These lower ones that are getting eaten, I don't really care that they're getting eaten, but I will still pick off a caterpillar if I find a big one. But these are the turnips. Look at that one. That's getting big size. But I'm not going to eat the turnip greens, so I'm not super concerned about them getting eaten by bugs. Oh, look, there's two. I will pick them off when I find them, but I'm not as meticulous as I am with the things that I'm eating. Oh, there's a big one. This is how big the one that was on my shoulder was. It was just poking its little head up like, hey, I'm a friend. I'm like, no, go back outside. You guys, I'm very proud of myself. 2 months ago, less than that even, those little caterpillars gave me the heebie-jeebies and I couldn't even touch them to get them off the plant. And now I had one on my shoulder and I didn't even scream. I came through here yesterday and I picked some of the outer leaves of the lettuces. Oh, see, there's a caterpillar on my lettuce and it fell down. I don't want them eating my lettuce because then they get poop all over it and that's gross. I had to come through here and pull out some plants because you see all those little black spots? I guess it's not that bad on that. There, those black spots and those black spots, that's all caterpillar poop. And that's gross. I don't want to eat that. What was I saying? Airplane flew overhead. I had to pause you. The onions are looking good. I came out here and harvested a salad yesterday for dinner, and it was really good. Just pulled some of the outer leaves, and I harvested some of the one that was in the ground, my little random walkway one, but I didn't get any of the really outer leaves because, as you can see, that is a lot of caterpillar poop. I don't want to eat that. So that one will probably not be harvested from again because that just grosses me out. But I've decided I really do like kale, and I really do like collard greens. I don't like them cooked. I tried them cooked and it was weird. But my collards are looking great. Not very much bug damage on those, so we love that. But they make a good broccoli flavor in salad. Harvested that one down to almost nothing. But yeah. I've been coming out here just checking for bugs. But trying to keep the caterpillars off my kale and my collards. I had planted these. This one got eaten a little. I had planted these for the lizards, and the lizards still love them. Come out and grab them a couple leaves every day. But I also love them too. So now I'm really trying to keep them alive and wishing I had planted more collards and less mustard. Because my husband likes mustard, and the lizards kind of like mustard. But I don't like mustard greens. Oh, there's a big good onion growing in there. Starting to bulb up a little bit. Alright, after spending 15 years on the green stalk, we'll get down to the bottom. These Alaskan nasturtiums are starting to put on some flowers. And they're so pretty. Like, I love that. It looks so good. And then the beets are starting to beet a little bit. Those are for my husband. He likes beets. I don't know that he's ever had them fresh, but he likes them pickled. So we'll try them fresh and we'll try them pickled. We'll give this guy its turn for the day so that side gets the sunshine. And then we'll jump around a little more, come back over here. And we're going to get my shadow because that's the side of the garden we're on. These leaves on this Brussels sprout are looking eaten to heck. And I've been coming in and looking inside the leaves, and there's like caterpillars that'll live way down inside there. But that's all right. They can have it. Whatever. It's a bug magnet now. We'll go back over to the other side again. Oh, we didn't look at this guy. That's my chamomile. My chamomile that came back from seeds, and it looks amazing. Oops, sorry, wobbly. And my peppermint that smells amazing. I don't want to touch it right now because there's bird poop on it. And over here is another Brussels sprout that's being weird, but it's not getting eaten quite as badly, so yeah. We're leaving it to do its thing. This is a broccoli that I harvested a week or so ago. And then yesterday I came out and harvested a bunch of the side shoots because they were getting big and starting to try to open up. But there's a couple more little side shoots on here. That's why I like broccoli. Because it's actually producing for me, unlike everything else I planted. These are Romanesco cauliflowers that we threw in because they were extras. There's 3 of them, and I should tie that one to the stake so it doesn't interfere with my peppers. Down there's a shishito, and then up top, growing out of its own cage and into the other, is the sweet banana pepper. We had some of my pickled sweet banana peppers with dinner yesterday, but I forgot to add pickle crisp, so they were mushy and gross. So I'm looking forward to these banana peppers coming ripe and being able to pickle those with some pickle crisp so they're not gross. Back here are my peas that I've been ignoring, and they haven't climbed up onto the trellis. So try to give them a little bit of direction. They're all tangled together. Good morning, bird. I hear you. Thank you. On the other side of the peas, you can see through. Those are the purple kohlrabi, and it doesn't look like any of them are bulbing up at all. But then on this side is the rutabaga, and those ones look like they might be starting to get some big roots on them. And I wish it was the other way around because I like kohlrabi, and I'm not sure I like rutabaga all that much. But kohlrabi will come when it's ready. Man, I really wish I had tied that to the stake. That's what I get for being a lazy gardener. These leaves are getting eaten to heck too. But the roots are looking great and the plants are really well established, so I'm not worried about losing a few leaves. We'll let the buggies have their dinner. Speaking of lazy gardening, this is where I chaos planted a whole bunch of stuff. And I planted the entire space, but it all grew right in the middle. So there are some radishes and some lettuces and some carrots. And I think there might be some kohlrabi. I think that might be what these bigger ones are. But they are not going to all be able to live together. So we're going to leave them and see what does well. These 2 carrots up here at the front. And then there's like 5 or 6 in this little clump. They're doing good. And then there's a radish over here that's actually radishing. These are some herbs that I had bought and left on my front porch. And they were doing well for a while, and then the mint started to die a little, so I figured I'd bring them back here where I can actually keep an eye on them. This pot has our Jerusalem artichokes down inside of it, and they're not growing at all, but they're down there. They'll grow eventually. Our volunteer onions are looking great. The ones on this side aren't even looking that bad anymore. We'll see what we get from those. That's cool. Got some carrots getting some decent top growth. My sister was asking me the other day, she planted carrots in September. She's like, when should I harvest these? And I was like, I don't know, March. Things grow a lot slower than you expect or want them to sometimes. You just gotta be patient. Over here, I sprinkled wildflower seeds. So this is gonna be a little wildflower patch. And these nasturtiums that I planted are looking good. And that is maybe a sunflower, I'm not sure. But nasturtiums over there. And I think there might be a sunflower there. I don't know, we'll see when it grows. But these other nasturtiums that I had put in the ground, the bigger leaves died, but the plant is still alive and it's got some new little leaves on it, so that's cool. And then under the baskets are the giant kohlrabi. We'll see what comes of those. But this little space is doing good. I'm glad that the birds didn't dig it up too much. And I even noticed, I think these might be from the Mexican sunflower that was over here. There's little sprouts in the grass. That's funny. And of course, we're going to leave them. We'll see what happens. Might come through with a weed whacker in a week or two and whack everything down, but for now they can grow and see what happens. Over here is my sprouting broccoli. On the top, it's finally starting to look kind of broccoli-ish. It has tons and tons and tons of branches that should each form a little broccoli. Down here's my only broccoli that I haven't harvested yet. It's looking good, looking ready to harvest. It's starting to turn yellow, which means the flowers are opening up. There's another sprout from the sprouting broccoli. Not quite as big as I would have hoped, but you know, whatever. It's in a crowded bed. Can't expect too much. There's a really big Romanesco. Like, really big. With an Alaska nasturtium under it. I was looking back at my pictures, my Facebook memories, and the Romanesco. I was at the Phoenix Zoo, and they have a little garden section, and they had Romanesco cauliflower, and that's what made me order these seeds. I wanted to grow a couple of them, but so far they're not producing, so whatever. There's a broccoli I had cut, and I harvested the side shoots yesterday. There's another broccoli that I had cut. It's got a couple of side shoots, but they're not ready. And then there's another Alaska nasturtium under this side in the corner. There's the green onions. They're looking good. We've been cutting them off to use, but then I also came out and harvested a clump of them the other day because I wanted the green and the white. There's my chives that I harvested and dropped in the walkway because they needed to be harvested, but I didn't have any use for them at the time, so they'll grow back bigger and better, and I'll use them next time. And then this side is my massive nasturtium. 3 plants, 4 plants, however many seeds dropped from last year. 3 intentional plants, there, there, and there. And then there's a couple in the walkway that had reseeded from last year. But I've noticed a few blossoms, a few flowers in there, pretty. And the vines are starting to go sort of crazy. I'm trying to keep them in check. And the sweet peas are not looking amazing, but they're still alive, so we're letting them be. They are covering the trellis a little bit, so I love that. And these 2 Gerber daisies in the back are still looking nice. 2 flowers, it's 1 plant, but they're doing well. They stay on there forever. I love Gerber daisies. Then we have some annoying grass coming through, but I'm not even going to mess with it. I don't care that much. There's a weed right here, though. In this bed, I had carrots last year, and then these weeds pop up, and they look a lot like a carrot when they start growing. So I actually was taking care of a bunch of weeds. It was pretty funny, and also not funny. But yeah, that's my garden today. This is my seed starting setup. We got trays over here, and then we have my cayenne peppers drying over here with the fan on them. Let me get the covers off of these and we can talk about them a little bit. This shelf is mostly tomatoes, but in this one tray we have a few mixed dahlias, and one of them's popping up right there. And looks like one is starting to try to pop up right here. A little bit of green, but you probably can't see it on the phone. And then the back row is a different variety of nata pino than I grew last time. And then over here is a jalapeno that's supposed to get like 5 inches long. But then the rest of these ones are tomato. We've got some red center floor cherry tomatoes popping up on that tray. On that one back there, there's some Brandywine and some mortgage lifters and some Abe Lincoln in the back. See through the lights. I have the lights really close to the tray so my seedlings don't get leggy. This tray had actually started germinating before I got the lights set up, so a few of these are really tall. Those are a couple of varieties of tomatoes I haven't grown before. But you can see in here most of these, probably about half, I could keep the dome off now. More than half of them have germinated. So that's exciting. I planted these on New Year's Eve, and today is January 5th, and this many of them have germinated. I had them on a heat mat for the first 2 days, and some of them germinated on that heat mat. And then I took them off the heat mat, and they're still getting some good germination with these lights. I'm going to keep the dome off of those 2 trays because so many of them have popped up. Once you get about 50% germination, you want to take the domes off and leave the lights on them. Right now I have the lights on 24 hours because as soon as the seedling pops up, I want them having light. I don't want them trying to reach for anything. A couple of these look a little bit dry, so before I cover them back up, I'll spray them with some water. And up here, we have all my pepper plants that I seeded on, I want to say, the day after Christmas. And there's some shishitos growing. Peppers usually take a lot longer. There's a blot. It's funny that my favorite peppers are all the ones that are germinating already. There's some shishito and some blot. And then on this tray, there's notapino and more notapino. What's that guy? Yellow corner de toro. And then on this side, there's early jalapenos popping up and Megatron jalapeno. I'm trying those because Heather at Sage and Stone Homestead grew them and they were big. I want big jalapenos. But most of these I'm probably growing for sale or for my sisters because I like starting seeds, but I don't know how big of a space I'm going to have for the spring garden. So there are a few varieties that I will definitely grow no matter what. I will put them in grow bags or 5-gallon buckets or whatever else. So there's going to be Megatron jalapeno for sure. Definitely notapeno. Definitely some shishito and some sweet banana and blot. Those are my must-haves. And Anaheim. I thought we had an Anaheim coming up, but that's actually a weed. I used my compost for these. And then for down here, I got some seed starting mix and mixed it with my compost. So there could still be some weed seeds in there, but so far what I've seen down here looks true. But yeah, we'll watch those as they grow too. And there's the cayenne peppers that I have strung up to dry with their fan on them. And then more shelves for when I separate these all out. I planted 3 or 4 in each spot, so like each corner has seeds, and some of them only had 3. But I will pull those out and put them all into solo cups. And it's going to be a lot of plants when they start growing. But this is what it looks like for now. And I'll keep you posted on how it looks in the future. Thanks for coming along on this video. See you next time. Bye-bye.